Here's your daily Tottenham news and transfer window roundup with me, Harry Scarfe, writer, football content creator and YouTuber. If you're unfamiliar with how this video works, firstly, it's all about one or two articles and I'm picking them. If you are new, like and subscribe. Thank you very much for coming in and thank you Chris Callan for this opportunity. The article firstly that I've chosen is from Sky Sports. So for people who didn't see it, Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy had an interview with Gary Neville from the overlap, and he's very open, to be honest with you. Lots of quotes that come out of it. So this article is about that, and I want to unpick some quotes as well a little bit later. So yeah, it is from Sky Sports. Headline is Daniel Levy, Tottenham Hotspur chairman, says Thomas Frank does not need to win the Premier League this season, but must deliver soon. Subheading: Daniel Levy made the controversial call to sack Ange Postecoglou at Spurs and replace him with Thomas Frank. Levy told Gary Neville the Dane does not need to win the Premier League this year, but needs to win as soon as possible. Levy also discussed criticism of his ownership. Next, so this is how the article starts. It says Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy says Thomas Frank does not need to win the Premier League title this season, but does need to deliver as soon as possible. This summer, Levy made the controversial decision to sack Europa League winning boss Ange Postecoglou due to his 17th place Premier League finish, replacing him with a former Brentford boss. After appointing Frank, Levy made the declaration that winning the Europa League was not enough, as he wanted Spurs to win the Premier League and Champions League. In conversation with Gary Neville for the overlap, Levy said Frank is not under immediate pressure to win the league, but that pressure may come soon. Whenever you appoint a coach, you always believe it's right, Levy said. You need a lot of ingredients to be right. Thomas is a highly intelligent individual. A fantastic way about him in terms of communication. I think he'll be great at both developing young players and older players and making them better. He gets the style of football we want to play. He understands Rome wasn't built in a day. We haven't said to him that we want to win the Premier League this year. Asked when Frank is expected to win the league, Levy replied, as soon as possible, but no pressure. We just want to compete at the highest level. So why Levy sacked Postecoglou is the next kind of subheading. Levy stole the headlines when he revealed Spurs' desire to win the Premier League and Champions League, something the club have never done in their history. Spurs came close under Maurizio Pochettino via a second place Premier League finish in 2017 and reached the Champions League final in 2019. Asked what has changed to make him say that, Levy replied, nothing has changed in terms of our ambition. It's always been the case. After winning the Europa League thanks to Ange, we've got a taste of it, but that's not enough, and it's never been enough. We've been in 16 or 17 semi-finals, we've been in 6 or 7 finals, and we haven't won enough. We need to use that as a springboard to keep winning. That's what it's all about. We've won 2 trophies in the last 20 plus years. We've been so close so many times. I can't really answer why, because I'm not the one who picks the teams, picks the players. Spurs sacked Postecoglou despite delivering the club's first trophy in 17 years and only the second of the Levy era at the North London club. The Australian coach delivered on his promise to always win a trophy in his second season, and even declared that Season 3 is better than Season 2 during the club's Europa League trophy parade before his sacking. Daniel Levy said, of course, the decision always has to rest with me, but it's always a collective decision. We have a board of directors, but under that we have a group of technical staff and they advise. Ange just won us a trophy, a European trophy. It's highly significant, it will always be in our history, and we were asking him to leave. We can't lose sight of the fact that we finished 17th in the league. We lost 22 Premier League games. It's impossible for Tottenham to be in that position. We had to take the emotion out of it, and we had to give some data points as to why we decided to do what we did. No one likes telling someone they're losing their job, but it's the nature of football. We're there to win. We won a European trophy, and that was fantastic, but we also need to win on all fronts. The Premier League says it all. Levy on fan protest. He said, when I'm gone, I'll get the credit. Levy also addressed criticism over his ownership amid regular protests from Spurs fans about both him and the elite group, which also has a stake in the club. The 26-year-old, he's absolutely not. The 63-year-old, let's try again, believes his role in building in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium means he'll only get credit for his work once he has left the club, before adding that he shares in the Spurs fans' pain when they do not succeed on the pitch. He said, when I'm not here, I'm sure I'll get the credit. When you come here and look at this wonderful building and the fact that the other clubs are trying to copy what we're doing, it should be a sign that we're doing something a bit bold and right. Of course, the fan unrest hurts, but their pain is always my pain. I want to win, and when we're not playing well and not winning, believe me, I suffer as well. It ruins my whole weekend. It's horrible. You're in it to win. When you don't win, it's not fun. One of the criticism Levy gets is his over-involvement in the football side of the club, despite a strong track record in the commercial success of Tottenham. Asked if the criticism is fair, Levy replied and said, I think I would say that that's completely unfair. People who have worked in the club and understand the workings of the football side of the club know that I do not interfere at all in the decision making of this player versus that player. It's always the coach and the technical staff. The only way I get involved is when they decide which player they want to buy or sell. I'll go out and do my very best for this football club. And I'm not interfering in the football decisions. It's not different from any other club. It's not just me, it's a board. When we went through the decision to appoint Thomas, there are a number of people involved, in which I was just one of them. What else did Levy say? And whether Thomas Frank was backed in the transfer market, he said we will support him to the best of our ability. If you look at transfer fees, we've been in the top 4 spenders since the stadium opened. We spent around 700 million net on new players. This isn't just about money, it's about some luck, having the right balance in the team, having the right coach. A lot of things have to come together. I very much hope that Thomas brings all the right ingredients to put the club where it deserves, which is right at the top. And whether the Europa League triumph is his best achievement at Spurs, he was asked. He said it has to be. Also, when we came back here a few days later and did the parade, the outpouring of emotion for everyone to see around the world was amazing. It was nothing to do with money, it was all about that. We needed a trophy, I promise you. The money, you realise a few days later that we were in the Champions League. But it's about getting a trophy, which is my proudest moment. What is success for Spurs in the next 3 years? He said we need to compete at the highest level, we need to consistently try to win trophies, that's what it's all about. He's asked of Manchester City's financial charges with the Premier League. He says it's going to be a process, or it's going through a process, should I say, which has gone on for far too long. It's been brought to a conclusion for the good of the game. It's unfortunate that we haven't been able to sort things internally. The reason why it's taken so long, the lawyers are going to earn a lot of money over this. That's the main bit of Daniel Levy, and that is the article. But one thing, a quote I'd also like to mention is, and it's a really good one, it's to do with the cost of the new stadium. He's like, yeah, we hit the market at the right time, 35-year money, 2.5% interest rates. Interest rates were low at the time. But as we know, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium cost £1 billion to build. Daniel Levy reckons, this is just what he reckons, but I reckon he's right, that if we built it today, it cost over in excess of £2 billion. That's just absolutely crazy, £1 billion more. So we struck gold with that thing. So no, I thought he'd come across well, but it's a lot of the kind of same old thing, and there's a lot of contradictory stuff in there. Like he's talking about Thomas bringing the ingredients, so in my opinion Daniel Levy should be supplying those ingredients, and Thomas Frank should be given the ingredients to put together a winning formula, a fantastic recipe at the top's master chef. That's the way I look at it. But I'm just going to read one article today. It was the only one because it's quite a big one, and Daniel Levy was quite a big interview with the overlap. So nothing really new, just doubling down on everything. Really, to be fair, the only one I don't believe is to do with the footballing decisions. I still think he has maybe a little bit bigger role than he realises. But actions, speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than the words. He's got to, when you say you want to win the Premier League and Champions League, you have to act like that on the pitch. Yes, we've spent 700 million net, he claims, since the new stadium. But I'd say to him, Daniel, how much of that money has been well spent? Because we are incredibly raceful. Whatever you think of the players, 60 million for Richarlison, record transfer fee at the time for Ndombele. We chuck money at things, even like 25 million at Brian Gill, plus a valuable asset in Lamella. We aren't very good with money. We're very wasteful. I'm not saying that it has been spent. A lot of Tottenham fans aren't saying that we don't compete with the top clubs in terms of money. It's to do with where we spend it. And also I'd say to him, why do you pay stupid fees for players, Daniel? When you get the players, that's fine. But why don't you pay the wage? Why have you got a wage structure that hinders your development, prevents you achieving your goal of sustained success? Why? That's what I would say to Daniel Levy. That'd be my 2 questions. But that is the article, and those are my thoughts. Very interesting. I think a lot of people having a go at Gary Neville for not asking maybe the right questions and not making it tough for him. But we've got to remember that we've all gone through the club, we've all been edited, so he could have asked some tough questions. He probably told things he can and can't say as well, so there's a lot more to it. But that is your daily Tottenham news and transfer window update with me, Harry Scarfe. Thank you very much for watching. If new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Thank you, Chris Callan, for this opportunity. If you're interested in what I do, I'm a football content creator, YouTuber and football writer. I'm an independent creator too, at just 16 years of age. So if you can support my work, it would mean a lot. Please follow me at HarryScarfe22 across all your major socials. I also have my own YouTube channel, Harry Scarfe. You can change my own Tottenham podcast within, also available multi-platform, called the Scarfe Spurs Talk Podcast, delivering 2 episodes of Tottenham per week. Proud regular here at Chris Callan's channel. For now, massive come on you Spurs.